How's it going, guys? Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So listen, we have to break down Nvidia in this one, go over the charts, how the stock did last week, and where I see things going in the short term here heading into next week. And I want to break down my thoughts, what I'm doing overall with this stock. But first, guys, smash that like button, make sure to subscribe, and get your 30 stocks from Moomoo. Deposit at least $100 using that link down below. You get 5 stocks. Deposit at least $2,000. You get 25 more stocks, and your uninvested cash now will earn up to 8.1% APY, which, guys, you have less than 10 days to get on this deal. So again, use that link down below or go to stasurfest.com/Moomoo. And now let's dive into it. So we had quite the rocky week for Nvidia stock last week, and you would have thought, well, with the GTC AI conference, the stock would have went bananas. Well, it didn't, and we'll talk more about here in a little bit what I did with my call options, which you guys probably remember. I'll cover that here in a little bit for those maybe that missed it and go over the psychology behind that. But look, we had a red day on Friday. Nvidia stock went down about 0.75%, and that's with a bigger dump off in the morning. So we were down even more Friday morning. We hit about 115, 115.50. Then we actually rallied for the rest of the day. Again, we closed in the mid-high 117s. And if we look at the 5-day, 5-minute, you guys can see we actually downtrended slightly the entire week. I mean, look, we hit 114 on, was this Tuesday? Yeah, on Tuesday we hit 114.50. And you guys can see we made slight lower highs throughout the entire week, right? We hit about 121 on Tuesday morning. We then hit 120 on Wednesday, 119.80 on Thursday, and then on Friday, yesterday, we hit 117.80, 118. So we made these slight lower highs. You guys can see on this 5-day, 5-minute. And on the 30-minute, you can see here, we ran all the way to 123.70. That was on Monday morning. And on Friday, last Friday, we went to about 122. So essentially, guys, what we saw this week with the GTC AI conference is a sell the news event, right? Which I'm not surprised. We got a lot of hype heading into the conference, right? We hit 102 about 2 weeks ago. We went from 102 all the way to 122 essentially into the conference. That was a big move. We're talking about 18, 19, 20% there. And you guys probably remember I was in the July, I forget the date exactly, 18th, I think July 18th, $130 call options. I bought those about 3 weeks ago, and I sold out of them, not yesterday, Friday, but the Friday before that. I got out of them heading into the GTC conference because I thought a sell the news event was coming, right? And in this type of market, like I've been talking about here, guys, you gotta be careful with your trades. And when you're up on a trade, whether it's, a swing trade with shares, options, whatever, especially with options, you have to be quick to sell profits and don't hesitate. If you're up a bit, on your position and the market's shaky, you're like, we might be due for a bit of a sell-off. In this case, Nvidia was due for a sell-off, right? Heading into the weekend last Friday. Don't be scared to lock in profits, right? Especially on options if you're up a good chunk. In this case, I was up like 10, 15% on my position. Nothing too crazy, but I locked those in when the shares were at 121, 122, and I think the contracts were at, I think like $10, $11 potentially, $11, right in that ballpark. And I got out, and now I'm pretty sure those same 130 July 18th calls are trading at, probably $8. Let me pull these up, actually. I'll pop them up quickly here so I can take a look, guys. But yeah, the moral of the story is Don't be scared to lock in gains, and the psychology behind stocks in weeks or heading into weeks of big events or big catalysts. A lot of the time, stocks run up big time heading into these catalysts, these events, and then afterwards they sell off. It's called a sell the news event. We see this happen time and time again with stocks like Nvidia, Palantir, other big stocks that are hypey around events, right? It happens. And I'm pulling up the options chain right here. Let me actually see if I can pull this up and show you guys so we can get a better idea. So, like I said, I was in these July 18th. So they expire in 118 days. There's a lot of time left on these, and I can always buy them back, right? That's the thing with options. You can lock in the gain, and you can buy them back if you want to. So, yeah, they're at $8.35. So if I zoom in here, you guys can see the $130 calls, right? They're trading for $8.35. So you multiply that by 100. If you want to buy one contract, you need $835. And when I sold them, I'm pretty sure I got like $1,100 and some change per contract. So if I held on to those, not yesterday, but last Friday, I would be down now about 20% on the position. But instead, I locked in the 10 to 15% gain, right? That's the way you got to do it, especially with options. You got to be careful. And now, if we go back to the charts, I could always, like I said, buy back into these calls if we start to break out and really confirm the breakout, which if I show you here on the 4-hour time frame, we're still very much so in a downtrend. You guys see this right here, very much so in a downtrend. But look, if I zoom in here and draw this inverse head and shoulders out or outline it, you guys can see it's pretty prominent, is it not? We have the left shoulder there, the head, the right shoulder's right here. All we really have to do now is start taking out 120 to 125, and then we might be running a bit at that point. But we're not confirming it yet. So that's another thing about this market. You got to wait for the technical confirmation. Don't try and front run a trade or get too excited before the charts confirm it. That could get you in trouble easily in this market. But yeah, in the meantime, while this thing figures itself out, I'm going to set my alert at $125 per share, and I'm still in Nvidia stock. It's not like I sold out of these options and I'm out of it completely now. I still own shares, but for me to get back in it, maybe as a trade, maybe buy those shorter term calls back, I'm going to have to wait for the confirmation, because when I initially bought the calls, the stock was very beaten up, oversold, right? And we're not really that oversold anymore. So I'd like to see the momentum build up before I get back in that trade. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, feel free to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe here on YouTube as we're on the road to 100,000 subs, and get your 30 stocks from Moomoo. Deposit at least $100, you get 5 stocks. Deposit at least $2,000, you get 25 more stocks, and your uninvested cash for now will earn up to 8.1% APY, which, guys, it's a no-brainer, and the clock's ticking. You have less than 10 days to get on this deal, so use that link down below, or like I said, go to StockSurfast.com/Moomoo. And with that being said, cheers. I'll catch you guys in the next one.